Previously, the group rushed to escape the erupting volcano via various means of flying. Well, Sean rushed to escape the volcano, ignoring a very, very fancy staff in the process. Everyone else took the time to loot the dragon's hoard and was hit by lava as payment. Well, everyone but Taria. She didn't try to loot, but was still hit by lava. As they exited the volcano, they arrived in a world that seemed to be coming apart. Ashkol thought at first that the ley lines were snapping back into place, but then he realized that they were tearing instead. There were tears in reality all around them, revealing shadows on the other side. The veil itself was ripping. The group prepared to fly away, and then they suddenly heard Thalicros's voice in their heads. The first part of his speech seemed to be aimed at everyone, and then he turned his attention specifically to Taria and Rylid. To the north, they could see an immensely large figure that was clearly Thalicros. To the west, they saw a flash of gold that was clearly the Praetors. The group, not being complete idiots, started rushing eastward, trying to escape. Things went well at first, and they managed to stay ahead of the Praetors and temporarily avoid them as they came close. Then the Praetors managed to catch sight of them and send numerous arrows in their direction that did quite a bit of damage to several of the group and knocked Yuri unconscious. Sean managed to get Yuri to his feet, and they rushed onwards. As they cut through a cave, they then ran into a powerful shadow spawn that was essentially a swarm of darkness, which they were able to take out. The power that rushed from it healed them of their previous injuries. Taria also felt herself attuned to the Sword of Veils. Then they kept rushing out of the cave. Yuri tried to lead them, using his memories of Praetor training to attempt to keep the group away from the Praetors. The Gold Cloak knew that he had Praetor training, though, so she used that against him. As the group left the cave, Octavia Tresh was waiting for them. 3 black cloaks walked out from behind her. She started to speechify about how she knew everything about the group and they didn't stand a chance. She wanted the sword and they were going to give it to her. Taria pulled out the Sword of Veils, hearing the voices of giants long gone in her head telling her to swing the sword to the northeast. So she did. And she used the sword to teleport them to a waystone far, far away. Just like that, they were out of the Scorched Basin and in a grassland plain. There was a waystone nearby, and there was a city in the distance. Sean realized that the city was Yushi, the city where the mysterious Im had told the group to meet them. Thaurizian walked over to the waystone to prepare, as it was the last one that he needed. The group spent some time talking about what had just happened and what to do next. Rylid had clearly been hit hard by Thalicros's comments to him, and the others did their best to convince him that they still had to keep trying. Taria could tell that their boat had been touched by Thalicros, and she wanted to see if she could break that somewhat with the sword. It was also brought up that they had what was needed to bring Zaya back. Yuri was worried, though, as they only had one shot and the ley lines were a mess. He didn't know if it was the right time or not. And that is where we left off.